The traditional stalling while I make sure that everything is set up correctly and I can actually see things. Okay, so I'm seeing an ad on Twitch. That's good. It is for some sort of video game, it looks like. But I'm still not seeing anything on YouTube. Let me check my dashboard. Okay, I'm gonna try refreshing and make sure that it's working. So if y'all are joining me on Twitch, hello, welcome. If you are joining me on YouTube and seeing nothing, that's not ideal, huh? Ah, there we go. Excellent. YouTube, check. Twitch, check. Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Friday before Christmas, so I'm sure a lot of people are off doing stuff with their family or maybe at work and just not having anything to do right now. Hello, Marco. Welcome to the stream. So today we are going to be working on text-based dashboards. Giggles McGee says, we can see. That is great to know. Thank you. I was doing a dashboarding event this week and I was doing some live stream events and I had to reconfigure my encoder for that. So I just spent the last 15 minutes like double checking that everything is set up correctly, and it is. So today we are going to be working on dashboards for text. And I'm going to be building on this code that I wrote in the last live stream, maybe the last 2 live streams. I don't know. It all sort of blends together. And I've had a very busy week, a wonderful week, but I did a lot. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. All right, so you can see that it's been run quite a few times. That's because I set this up to run every day using the scheduled dashboard thing that I did. Anyway, Abhishek says, it is Saturday at my place and 5:30 in the morning. Oh my goodness, good morning. You're up early. So the notebook that we're working with takes information from, so let's just go through and run the code bit by bit, and I think we're going to get an error because I think I hard-coded matrix dimensions in here at some point, and because the data that's coming in is different, it's updated. Turns out people use different numbers of words on different days, so the what's the word I'm looking for? The dimensions of the matrix are going to change. So I may need to fix that and spend some time on that. And if I scroll down, so this is just reading in the data, making sure that our dates are actually dates. And then we do a little bit of cleaning. So we are only looking at kernel. So we're looking at comments on the forums from the last 2 days, and then we're comparing them to kernels, to comments on the forums from the last month. So this comment is actually incorrect. It should be the last month. And so you can see here are the comments on the forums that got the most interaction over the last 2 days. So this 20th place solution is the number one. Mohammed says, hello from Rock. Hello, Mohammed. And then somebody says that they had a problem scrolling in kernels. And then somebody talked about an augmented training set, how to get out of the circle of MOOCs. And various other kernels. So these are, I'm only looking at the kernels that have had, the forum posts that have had some interaction. So people have upvoted them, or they have replied to them, or they're just sort of like additional messages in the thread. So things like that. And the reason that this is interesting is because, as you know, someone who works for Kaggle, I want to know if there's a bug that everyone's talking about suddenly, or you know, something happens in the forums, I want to know about it. And I read all of the forums except the competition forums when I get into work every day. So I sort of know what's going down, but it would be useful to have a quick way to do that so I can just sort of glance through the day and make sure that things are well, the data set's only updated once a day, so it wouldn't be live streaming data on the metadata data set, but you could imagine if it was updated more often, that would be useful. And then this is something that I can send to other teammates and be like, oh, hey, look at this thing that suddenly come up that I've told you about, and here's evidence that people really care about it, and there's, you know, a lot of discussion around it, or whatever. So that's the general idea of why I would want to do this. And I did a little bit of additional work. So here we are looking at the most frequent words ever used in the forum. So this is sort of a little dictionary of what people tend to talk about on Kaggle. And then these are the words that people have used just in the last little time period that we're looking at, which I think is 2 days. And then we have a third data frame that is words that are used much more than you think that they would be given their overall frequency on Kaggle. And then this will go through and look at each of these words that are more common than they are historically, using this measure of surprise. That I just made up. That's not like an established measure of surprise. And then I am getting the forum posts that use that particular word. So here you can see there are a couple of words that are, you know, overrepresented. So values, place, like the set 20th place solution, kernels, so you can see that there's some discussion of Vim bindings for kernels, and then problem scrolling in kernels, and then new, so that's not something people talk about so much on Kaggle, and people talking about the new kernel IDE is unstable, and then talking about sets, so training set, test set, and then solution. So these are things that are overrepresented, and then words that are overrepresented, and then the what are these called? Forum posts that they're overrepresented in. And then I used the text-to-vec package, I think. Let's see, I think I imported it up here at the top, like a person knows what they're doing. Yeah, the text-to-vec package, and looked at unique forum posts, so forum posts that are very unlike earlier forum posts. So this is the same sort of measure of surprisal. Is this something new? Is this something that is we wouldn't necessarily expect? And so we do that by vectorizing the entire forum history. Giggle says it's a bit choppy for some reason. 1 gig internet in Austin. Yeah, let me try pausing the playback and see if that helps. So just pausing what I'm seeing from playback. And that was on YouTube. If people on Twitch are also having problems, yeah, let me know. If it gets super bad, I can take a quick break and reboot, but I'd prefer not to because that's going to take a minute. Oh yeah, let me also... Here, I'm just going to close a bunch of tabs that I have in my other monitor that I'm just looking at that aren't super important. So let me know if it's still, you still have a problem with it. Right, so we're creating a embedding vector. Atrof says, hi, thanks for joining. Of the entire vocabulary. So this is a text embedding. I think we just launched a course not too long ago on Kaggle Learn about text embeddings, but that's on Python, and this is just a way to do it in R. And the text to vec package, scroll. This one is really highly optimized, so it's very, very fast, and this doesn't take pretty much any time at all. So there, we're done. We've created embeddings for the entire history of the Kaggle forums, and as you can tell, that was really speedy. So it's a nice package. I'm a fan. If you do a lot of work with text and R, it's a nice speedy little thing. And then we have create a document term matrix for the last month, actually, not the last week, and then the last 2 days. So we're looking at these two, we're treating each of these as a separate corpus. And then we are looking at what is most surprising in the last 2 days, given what people have talked about in the last month, using a cosine similarity measure based on the embeddings that we've trained up here. Does that make sense? And here 1 would be perfectly similar and 0 would be very unsimilar. So we're going to rank things that are more and less similar, and things that are very surprising are going to be at the top of the ranking. And this should give me an error. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, let's try it. So here is where I did hard encoded the dimensions, and this is where I was expecting it to fail, and it looks like it hasn't. Ryan on Twitch says he downscaled to 720 because it was pausing and that seemed to fix it. And then Shed on YouTube also noticed the choppiness. Yeah, so maybe try lowering the quality a little bit. I'll try to make sure that I'm really zoomed in so you can see things. It might be because I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. I'll futz with that at some point later. Yeah, so okay, yeah, here we go. Here's our error. So you can see that the problem has to do with the number of dimensions, because I here hard-coded the number of dimensions based on the dimensions of the array when I was initially coding this and the data from that particular day. So if you go back and you look at my versions, you'll see that last Friday or 2 Fridays ago or whenever, there wasn't an issue. And now, because the size of the data has changed, there is an issue. So let's fix that first and foremost so that we have no errors. That's the, yeah, error bad, no error good. Let make error no. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. And Giggles McGee says it's much better now. Excellent. Glad to hear that it has improved. It might have been all the Chrome tabs I had open. It was kind of a lot. So let's check out the head of this data structure. Actually, let's see what the data structure is. So this is a document term matrix. Okay, and I believe the dimensions I got here, 559 and 16, were the dimensions of the I attribute and the P attribute. And I believe that I is all of the comments from the last month, and then P is all of the comments from the last 2 days. So, yeah. Can I get the dimensions? Oh, that wasn't helpful. Can I get the length of this, I think? Oop. And it's, yeah, it is length. LEN is Python. That's one that always gets me. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, look in this object, and here attributes are separated by the @ sign, much like in a data frame, they'd be separated by the $, or in Python, they'd be separated by a period. That's just the syntax. And then I is the particular thing that we want. So I should be able to say, whoop, that. Actually, I'm gonna unnest this a bit to make, I wanna make the syntax more good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my slice, and then I'm gonna convert that into an array, and then I'm gonna take the column sums of that. So the column sums is, let's actually look at the, here. First thing, I'm gonna copy and paste this so I don't lose my code I wrote that is correct. Copy. Paste, and then if we look at the structure of the D1, D2 cosine similarity. What this is the so it's a matrix, and the number of columns, I guess, is the so the number of columns is the number of comments for today, and then the number of rows is the number of comments for last month, and then we are summing across all of the differences for all of them. And what we're doing is we're actually looking in this matrix. We're looking at one of these matrices and summing over those, and that's going to give us the cosine distance. And then the bigger the total cosine distance, the more similar they are. At some point you subtract 1, or you subtract the cosine distance from 1 and invert it there. So I think it's the bigger the number, the more similar they are. The smaller the number, the less similar they are to previous comments. So something that has a cosine similarity of 0 across all previous comments in the month would be very surprising. It would be very unlike other things. And then if we look at the length of the P attribute, that should be 18, and it is. And actually this line is getting a little bit hard to read, so I'm going to make these variables. And let's call this, let's call it num month comments, and then we're going to call this num day comments. Listen, naming things is hard. And so this is gonna be this one, and this one's gonna be this one. Actually, I can do better. I can just do let's do n month and then n day, just so it's I'm actually making it shorter. And then the month one was first, and then the day one was second, and then this should, in conjunction with our second little, no, I have made an error somewhere. Okay, index larger than maximal 586. Well, I thought I knew what I was doing. Oh, right. I know what it is. It should be a slice and not an integer. No, that wasn't it, actually. So, that's a problem. I know somebody mentioned when I was working on this previously that they had been able to use this call sums function on just raw cosine similarity document term matrices before, and let's see if it's working for me now. And I think I tried it and it didn't work. Blah, blah, blah. X must be an array of at least 2 dimensions. Yeah, so that's why we're doing this converting to an array and call sums. And I don't think I can just convert it to an array, because it's a pretty complex object that has a lot of attributes, and an array is just oh. Okay, well that actually worked fine. Can I also take the column sums? Oh, and if you're not familiar with these little doodly-oops, no, I don't want to leave the site. These are pipes, so just like you know, Unix pipes, they take the output of whatever's here and then push it into here, and then push it into there. Call sums, I believe it was, yeah. And then this should be, yeah, this is 17, and I think we have 17 comments. So I made that more complicated than it was. Sim, that's right. Okay, that worked. Yeah, I don't know why I made that so much so much more complicated than it needed to be. That worked fine. So I didn't even need to take a slice and do something that was very dependent on the dimensions of the data frame. So noted. And then what we have here is we have the most surprising comments given semantic similarity to earlier comments. So you can see that this one has a distance of 0, so it's not like any other comments at all. And that doesn't surprise me because I don't think someone has done private search touching 1-topic 23 before. And this is probably some sort of test that someone else in Google is doing. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have fixed that bug, in a mere 20 minutes, I figured out that I didn't actually need to do something that I was doing. Oh, whoopsie daisy. I want to make this a little bit better to look at with your eyes. So I'm going to do all of the text-to-vec stuff in a single block. And my eventual idea is that I'm gonna make a dashboard that has on one side a table like this table down here, maybe with some color coding, make it look real nice, real shiny, real good. I'm not actually going to use shiny for this. And then in the one over, I'm going to have something like number of comments. So I can actually get rid of, well, I don't know. Actually, this one as well might be very interesting. So I might have something like, here's the most interacted with posts, and then here's the most surprising posts. So I might do something like the top 5 posts. Giggle says, you're a brave soul for troubleshooting errors live. It's the best way to do it. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think what I want my thing to look like. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to commit this and then fork it. Well, actually, no, I'm just going to commit it, and then I can go back and look at the old version if I ever want to, because I'm going to take out some of the stuff. So the sort of surprisal based on a word level measure that sort of like, I don't want to say it's naive, but it's very simplistic. And the cosine similarity distance measure does the same thing. It tells us what is new and what is surprising given previous content. So return to the editor. So yeah, I want this bit, and I'm gonna actually get rid of all of this. And because I committed a version, I can always go back and check that out in the future if I decide that actually I didn't want to get rid of it. Yep, so these two tables I'm interested in. And the third thing I'm interested in is straight up the number of comments per day, because if there's a sudden spike in the number of comments that people are leaving, then that's probably an indication that something's going on that people are talking about, that we should know about as, you know, the people doing the site. So if I look at this original forums object, and I think this should be fairly quick to do. I mean, famous last words. All right, so I think all I need to do is group by creation date. No, I actually did additional cleaning, didn't I? Yeah, I looked at things that weren't on kernels, because the kernel comments that people leave on kernels are included in forum comments. So I do want to keep this cleaning. I'm not super interested in interaction. So I think that's what I did. So let's do this. So we're going to remove, so filter is just like filter in SQL, if you're familiar with SQL. It searches for rows that fulfill this quality, and then it passes them on. And this is just looking for, in the period here refers to the object that you passed into it. The period here is just part of the function name. That doesn't mean anything. In this object, look for the column with kernel ID. And if it is not NA, then pass it through. So basically, if this column is empty, if it's not empty, it's the ID of the kernel it's associated with. Giggle says, can you please explain what forking does? Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. So what forking does is the term is from source control, and it makes a copy of the code that you can modify without changing the original code that you forked from. And what you would do in a lot of context is you'd work on your fork, and then later you would merge it back into the master. So if I, was adding a functionality and I was working on it locally and testing it to make sure that it worked, and then once it worked, I could say, hey, I've made these changes, can you add them back to the code, so that, when we run whatever it is, the changes that I've made are included into it. And Ryan also has a nice little, what's the word I'm looking for? Description there as well. So yeah. And there's not right now any functionality for merging on Kaggle, but you can fork. So if someone does a kernel and you're like, yeah, it's kind of cool, I want to play around with it, you can make your own copy that you can do whatever with. All right. And then I want to group by creation date. Oop. And then I want to tally. And that should give me, oh, okay, no. So it is grouped by creation date, but creation date includes the timestamp. So it's only going to give me counts of how many things were created at that exact second. And usually only one thing was created per second because we don't have like multiple things created by second. So I think it's day is the function to get the day from a date. Yes. Oh, no. Okay. So what has happened here is that day is actually the day of the month. So it looks like there's no days of the month that are exceptionally more or less comment heavy, except for the 31st. And obviously there are fewer months that have a 31st in them. So that's not actually the command I want. I think it's day underscore year, maybe? No. Here. So it's the date functions are from the lubridate package, and lubridate day, days in month, day, days, day underscore year is just something I typed earlier. Let's lubridate, pull up the help. Dates and times made easy, parsing. So there are functions to take a date and figure out what the day of it is. Periods, measure change in clock time that occurs between two instants, durations, intervals, miscellaneous. Decimal date converts an instant to a decimal of its year. Maybe decimal dates is what I want? Yeah, let's open the documentation up in the new tab and check out the cheat sheet. Shed says, can the changes be merged back into the master copy? You can do it on Kaggle. You can do it by downloading a copy of your forked version and then uploading it to the notebook that is the original, but that will overwrite anything, and you can see what the differences are in the versions tab, but yeah, there's no like nice way to say like these lines I want to accept and these lines I want to reject. We know it's something people want. It's something I've asked for. And we'll see. It's a fairly hefty thing to build for engineering, so. All right. Date component. It's literally just date, y'all. That's all it is. It's called date. Jiminy Cricket. I think I'm ready for a vacation. I don't know about y'all. Oh, there we go. So you can see back in 2010, we didn't have a lot of comments per day. And then this year, we have more comments per day. Excellent. And I'm actually gonna I'm also going to filter, I'm only going to look at the last month, I think that's most useful. So I'm going to say creation date is greater than creation date minus month. Oh, right, I'm going to need to pipe there. Actually, can I just say minus 30? Can I just do a regular arithmetic with it? Well, that didn't work. Huh. Alright. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter ones where the month of the creation date is the same as the month of today. And this is not going to be the same. Yeah, okay. Oh. This gets all Decembers. It doesn't just get this December. Remember like 5 minutes ago when I said this was going to be really quick? Oh. Okay. No, this is going to work. So let's say that the date of creation date is greater than today minus 30. Was that gonna do it? Hey, fabulous. Ryan says Kaggle's been around since 2010. Didn't realize it was that old. Yeah, Kaggle's been around a while. It changed dramatically. Like I actually don't remember what it was originally founded to do. And there's like a point in time when it was a consulting company, I think. Yeah, there's been some twists and turns. Okay, so this did it. So look at the creation date, which also has a time, make sure that it's a date, and then only get ones that are greater than whatever today's date is minus 30 days is what it defaults to. So that worked. And then I'm going to want to chart that. So I'm going to use ggplot. And I don't need to say which data it is because it is the data I'm piping into it. And then actually, first I'm going to rename date creation date to day, and then I'm going to rename n to number, except I think I have gotten these backwards and it should be the other way around. And I think this should be number equals n. And I'm just going to quickly do that real quick and make sure that I did it good. I did it bad. Error in date creation date. Object creation date not found. Oh, I think that's because it's trying to run that as a function and it's confused about it. And I actually just wanted to treat it as a name. Yeah, there we go. So now that it's been renamed all nice and pretty, Ryan says, date and time are my least favorite things to deal with. Yeah, they can be a headache. I really do like the Luberdate package. I know datetime in Python is great, but it just doesn't have the nice, it's just not as nice, man. It just doesn't have all of the like, handy functions. I don't know, a lot of the, especially the tidyverse packages are very user-friendly. They do a lot of the like fiddly behind the stuff for you, and I really enjoy it. All right, and I'm also, you know, fairly fluent in R, so for me it's not it's much faster to do this than it would be in Python. All right, aesthetics, and then I want the x-axis to be days, and then the y-axis to be number, and I want a line plot, so I'm going to do geom line, And this should be a beautiful timeline. There we go. And I also want actually a little smoothing function, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on in here. And I think formulas LM, it might be just family. Method low s. Oh, that's right. It's method is LM. Actually, no, I don't need it to be linear. Low s is fine. There we go. So we can sort of track the sort of general trend. Yeah. Okay. So what I want is a dashboard that has tables with interesting information, and then this little chart that shows us how many what have been called, how many forum posts there have been per day. So you can see there's like a little bit of like a weekend thing. People tend to do it on the weekdays. I'm assuming that's what it is. And then we have a lot of posts on the, looks like the 17th or the 18th. That would be the day I did my event, and I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think that's probably it. And then, yeah, so this is just sort of a good thing to keep an eye on. Again, spikes are, you know, a problem. I think there was also a bug that might have caused some comments as well. So, yeah. And I did exactly 2 seconds of research, and I searched, I think, color-coded chart or color-coded table in R, and I found out about this really cool library that makes, if I scroll all the way down, really nice tables. Look how nice that is. That's so fancy. So it's, you know, it's got color coding so that things are very high or, you know, dark, and it's got, you know, you can sort things. It's a little bit interactive. You can change the number of entries you're showing. You can search. You can page things. So if there's like a lot of entries, you can page through them. So I thought that this looked really cool, and I want to do something like that. So, I don't know what this DT package is. So let's try it out. I actually don't even know if it's like, literally I found out about this like a minute before the stream started. So let's see if it's actually installed. Oh yeah. Gail says, my ton-month-old is ready for bed. Thanks, Rachel. Looking forward to watching this all later. Yeah, absolutely. When it is bedtime for babies, it is bedtime. I hope you have a lovely weekend and a lovely holiday. Okay, so we do have that as .data table, format table. So format table is this, actually, can I just do this? Will this work? Let's call this something. So I'm gonna call this table, top posts. And then let's see if I can just like make it interactive with 2 commands. Oh my god, wouldn't that be amazing? And then the next thing that I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna need to copy this, except I haven't imported any of these libraries, so this is definitely gonna give me an error. Yeah, it doesn't know about any of these functions. So let me actually import those functions. So looks like it's library capital D capital T. That's not data.table, is it? If it's data.table, I'm gonna feel bad because that's a very important package, and I should know more about it than I do. It's really good for very big data sets. And then format table is the other one, and I think the name of the library is just format table. Yes. Format table. And then it was top forum posts. Was it top posts? I think I called it. Yeah, top posts. Oh, you know what helps is if you spell names correctly. B. Whoop. Okay, so some of these things worked. HTML widgets cannot be represented in plain text, need HTML. We might need to move to an R Markdown document, but I want to get it working as far as we can. Ryan says, those tables look like this JavaScript plugin I've used before. Yeah, I'm sure it's some sort of JavaScript under the hood. Okay, so format table works good. It is the second one, this scroll all the way back down. It's the second one, this as .data table, that is the problem. All right. Error while rich displaying an object. Error in file. Invalid description. Invalid description error. HTML widgets cannot be represented in plain text. Need HTML. Oh, actually, first let's Google the error because I'm an adult and that's what adults do. And see if this is about R. Okay, so this is in Jupyter. And they're also having problems with Plotly. Embed notebook is just fine for Plotly objects. So it looks like they're using the IR display. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. And M was, okay, M was their file. So let's see if this will work. Actually, if this works, we might be able to not switch to R Markdown and might be instead able to do Jupyter. There is a problem with HTML widgets in Jupyter specifically. Let's call this M because that's what they called it. So in addition to it not displaying here, when you compile the notebook, sometimes, so it's in Jupyter, in the R kernel, HTML widget, sometimes the plot is rendered as a 1 pixel by 1 pixel picture, basically, which obviously you can't see good. And it's a known bug, and I think I've mentioned it before. Yep, I'm sure at some point someone will get around to fixing it. I don't think I have the skills to fix it. I don't think people want me just like sticking my sticky little fingers in the R kernel of Jupyter, but yeah. And I am very grateful for everyone who works on open source. I'm not dunking on the Jupyter team at all. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, open source contributors are great. That's exactly where I'm going with that. So it looks like it's in a so it looks like the height here is being described and it's actually smaller than the table. And I thought that that would fix it, and it did not. What if I don't say anything about what size I want it to be? It's tiny. It's so tiny. Okay, let's say some things about it being much bigger, and maybe that'll work. All right, and maybe actually I can change the number of things that I display in the data table. So price, color tile, transparent, light pink. So let's see. Let's look at the as.data table. Actually, let's look at the DT data table documentation and see if we have some other options that we can use to tweak this and make it look a little bit nicer. Not that it doesn't look nice, but I think it could be nicer. Oh, it looks like it's another RStudio thing. All right, so we've got options, class display, caption, filter, escape, style, fill container. I'm wondering if we can affect this like number of entries that you show by default. Okay. Okay, so it looks like editable equals true. You can edit that? What? That's really cool. Sorry, I'm just let me zoom in so y'all can see a little bit better. I'm just sort of like kid in a candy shop right now. Display row names. Row names are generally something I'm not a fan of. But what I really want to do is change the number of entries you show by default. Does it say that anywhere? Page length. Okay, so I can, in options, list page length, and then the name, the length that I want. So, whoop. Let's see if this works. So now I should only see 5 entries, except I haven't completed my thingadoogle. All right. Okay, so this looks pretty good. It's a little bit wide though, and I'm wondering if we can, you know what, let's take this creation date and just, let's remove the creation date column actually, because it's not super, well, it's a little bit important. Ma'am, let's convert it to just a date though, so that we don't have that date time, and that might actually solve our problems. Oh, okay, I see what it is. So actually after I select it, then I need to mutate it in order to change it. I can't change it while I'm selecting it because it's looking for an exact match for the rows. Guess what happens if you don't close your parentheses? Nothing good. All right, and then I'm gonna mutate creation date, and I'm gonna make it the date, so we can get rid of that time information on the end. And let's get rid of it here as well, because that's where it's throwing the error. Oh, and also I can't spell mutate. Shed says height equals 100%. Oh, that's gonna help with the thingadoogle. I think this will happen as well. What was that? Oh, that's just my heater kicking on. It's a little bit chilly here today, and my hedgehog needs it fairly warm, and he's got a little heat lamp, but I would turn it off, but I don't want my hedgehog to get too cold because that is a health risk for them. Let's do this. Okay, so this should make our table wide enough. And I'm going through all this folderol. I don't even know that it's actually going to work when we commit it. So, and I'm also going to make the height 100% because I think Shed is absolutely right, and that will be better. Oh, now it's... okay, maybe we should say that the height should be something other than 100% because it's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little bit, it's a little bit short, small. It could be bigger. Wow, words are really hard. And actually another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to rename those total messages and total replies columns. So let's do a little bit of renaming. Not a comma, I want a pipe. So I'm going to have messages be total messages. And then I want replies, IES, to be total replies, and then I want date, because I don't think I need to actually specify creation date, to be creation date. And then if we run this again, I don't know why I put these so far away from each other, and I say that the height is something like 400, it should look pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's better. It's still going off the page a little bit. It might be because I'm so zoomed in. I'm actually going to try committing it. I am a little bit worried that once I commit it, because of the HTML widgets bug, I'm actually going to get something that looks blank. And I could go click back in here and keep editing because this is being run in a separate version. So you can keep editing this version. This is creating a what's the word I'm looking for? Blah, blah, blah. User warning, your element with MIME types is not able to be represented. MIME types equals output.keys. Python.27. Shed says, my bad. Oh, no worries. I didn't know that it wasn't gonna work. Is this the most recent version? Okay, yeah, it compiled. I don't know why we're getting Python errors. We should not be getting Python errors. Oh, it does work. You can see it. Oh, that's nice. That looks nice. Okay. I'm actually gonna get rid of messages entirely because messages is just the original post plus the number of replies. I am just realizing. Ryan, I'm looking at the data table package for Python. Doesn't look like a good time. Can't find tiny docs. Yeah, that doesn't sound ideal. Yeah, okay, so I'm really delighted that this has worked well. This is going to be much easier than I thought it would be. What was I doing? So I actually want to get rid of this total messages column entirely. I don't care about it. It is not important to me in this particular instance. And I'm just interested in the number of replies and the number of upvotes it's gotten. Nice. Okay, so I am at this point actually going to commit again, and then I'm going to fork because I'm going to take this sort of exploratory notebook and turn it into a pretty dashboard in 9 minutes. Dun-dun. We might be a little bit more than 9 minutes. We'll see. I am getting decidedly peckish. It's getting to be dinner time, so I might scamper off a little bit early rather than hanging around, but I think it should not take that long. Again, famous last words, but I've done this a couple of times this week, so I'm feeling optimistic. All right, so it's what's up in the forums post, and I'm just gonna fork it. So this will make a new version. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to hide all of my utility stuff, and I can actually put this all in a single cell. And I don't want to see any output here. So I'm also going to get rid of this that prints out some output because I don't care about it. So this is sort of our get info posts from last day. And I'm actually just going to be looking at things from the last day. So things that are greater than today or yesterday. Things that are greater than yesterday. I'm going to get rid of this cell. I am going to keep all of this. I am going to want this. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to move all of my library imports up to the top. Ryan says, I thought it might be able to print out some sortable and searchable tables in Jupyter notebooks. Not worth it, though. I mean, it works in R. I'm not saying you should switch to R, but I mean, looks great to me. I do like Python. Python has a lot of uses, so I don't want to dunk on Python, but for what it's convenient for, R is so convenient. Oh my goodness. I see, you scared me. Oh. For interactive, not notebooks, but tables. And then this one was for cosine distance measure, MEASURE, and this is all utility libraries. There's a lot of libraries I think some people might not have run across, so that's why I'm commenting these, just so people who are looking at this later can be like, oh, that's why you were using it. And then I'm gonna do some larger headings, pre-processing, and then basically I'm gonna do all of the heavy lifting in a single cell. And this is cosine similarity measures. And then get rid of that. And then this I am gonna keep. So plot of number of comments per day. And then this I am gonna keep. Interactive table of top comments. And I also want... Okay, so what I don't have yet is the surprising comments that we get from most surprising. And I'm also going to remove this one that only gives us the top 5, so we actually have all of them. Excellent. So this is all of our sort of computation that we're doing, and then this is the actual visualization that we're doing. So I'm gonna make this look a little nicer, I think. So let's see. Is it geom theme or is it GG theme? I think it might be GG theme. Maybe underscore GG theme? GG theme. That's not even close to what the spelling is. GG themes. Okay, so it's a package. I'm just gonna take a quick little peekity poo and see if there's a theme that I like, just to make the GG themes gallery, just to see what I like. All right, so we've got Tufts, Wall Street Journal, Solid, Excel. I think I like Few. I think that looks nice. Well, I don't know. Maybe not that nice. I want something with a white background, so I'm not going to do something like The Economist or the 538 one, even though those are very nice. Stata, again, I want a white background. Range frame. Cleveland shape palette Cleveland's elements of graphing data. Okay, so this gives you additional shapes that are easy to see and tell apart. Plot year, matrix, GG extra, GG 4 to 5. Okay, so these are themes for other geomes. Yeah. Oh, sorry, and I did not actually go back to the right thing. Just something sort of simple, sort of nice looking. Yeah, let's do Tufts. I think that's pretty good looking. So I'm just going to GG theme, add this theme really quick, and this should is it not called? Oh, it's called GG themes. That'd do it. Just gonna use this one. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Actually, if I specify that I'm using method equals lowest, is it going to suppress the warning? It will. Okay, excellent. And then the last thing I want to do is add a title, and I believe it is GG title. Yeah, GG title. Comments per day. There we go. So we have a nice little plot. And I'm just gonna hide the input so you won't see the code in the notebook, but you will see a nice little visualization. And then I think this will just say, I think it should be fairly obvious that this is like comments. I don't know, maybe it won't be obvious. Top comments. And I'm gonna say that the width is actually something like 80%, so it's just a little bit less Well, it's still pretty squished. I am zoomed in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit clearer. So one thing that I am noticing is that it is not giving all comments for today. Oh, I know what it is. It's because the days are determined by UTC and not the current. Well, actually, let's do the last 2 days. It's fine. It says what date it is, so I mean, you can get that information. And if we do this, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, you can see we actually have 17 entries. So I think that's fine. And this is going to be the top, and then people can look at more and play around with them, and I think it looks pretty good. And let's hide you. And actually, I think I want this cell. God, I want to be able to click and drag cells above this cell, and then if we commit it, we should have a nice looking dashboard. Famous last words. It is 5 o'clock. I did do it in the amount of time I said I was going to do it. But we should look at it to see if it looks good. And I haven't actually used the cosine similarity measure, so that might be something that I could do later to sort of build on this a little bit more, or I'll make this public. So if you're interested in playing around with it and doing some of your own visualizations, you should feel fun. You should feel free. I mean, you should also feel fun. I hope everybody feels the emotion of fun. Well, okay, so it could have been 100%. So it's 100% of this size here. Why is it so big? I want it smaller. I think that's probably something to do with the thing. Shed says 120%. Yeah, let's try that out. Let's see if that works. Oh, and let me rename this forum topics dashboard. Let's try 120%. Okay, so I think it's that the problem is not with the table, it is with the iframe. What if I said 100% for the height? Is it gonna work this time, or is it still gonna be small? It's still small. I don't know why it's small. What if I don't say anything for the height? It's still small. Oh, so it must be like 100% of whatever it's decided the default is. What if I say it's 200%? No, it doesn't seem to change the height. Oh, that's because the percent's in front. Still doesn't change the height. So that's an interesting thing. Well, that looks good. All right. So I'm going to call that a day. If you are interested in playing around with this, you're very free to. I have to say, very impressed with the format tables and DT interactive tables things. Oh my god. Packages. That's what they're called. I'm so tired. I'm ready to pack it in for a long weekend and lots of festivities, and I have an anatomy test tomorrow, so I have to study for that. But one more little peek. Oh, and actually let me make it an error. What if you didn't have an error? 404 can't be found. Oh, I see what the problem is. I changed the title. It's thinking. Well, it's still like weirdly long. Oh, actually, I think I don't like this because I can't scroll over all the way because it's hidden. It's overflowing a box, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to make this public, so if you guys are interested in playing around with it, you are more than welcome to. Any code that is published publicly on Kaggle is under Apache 2.0.